A new program meant to take downtown or make downtown safer. It's working, at least according to one organization, what the Downtown Austin Alliance is doing.
From near record high temperatures this week to maybe our first freeze. I'll have a full forecast on First Warning Weather.
And a collapsing regime in Syria leads to celebration in the streets. One family worried about their son, what the president had to say about the apparent victory of the Syrian rebels. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nabil Ramadna. The Downtown Austin safety team have patrolled the streets as supplemental security since May. And because of them, the Downtown Austin Alliance says they're seeing a real difference when it comes to crime. They do things like make sure there's no illegal loitering, harassment, or illicit drug use, issues that downtown businesses have repeatedly reported to Austin police. The Austin Downtown Alliance says the safety team has had more than 7,000 interactions with people about those problems, and in the majority of those instances, people have complied.
It is working. We've demonstrated that just by having people on the street, asking people to change their behavior has been working effectively.
And tonight at 10, hear straight from one of the safety officers about what it's been like taking on this new project. All right, yesterday it was cold, it was rainy, saw that in the morning, but I saw the sun pop out early this morning.
Just as the forecast called for, Nabil.
You were right. That's
First
why
Warning Weather team was right. Well,
of course.
Actually 20 degrees warmer today in some spots. Can you believe it? Back to our seasonable weather, and just even 20 degrees warmer tomorrow. So it's a little bit of a staircase of temperature this week, but it's a roller coaster. We'll talk about it right now. Here is our Central Austin shot. This is our KXAN weather camera courtesy of West Shore Home. Got some sunlight reflecting off the glass. Still some low-level clouds. It's mostly cloudy, but we'll see the clouds decrease overnight tonight. Look at the 24-hour temperature change compared to yesterday. 15 degrees warmer right now in Austin. How about 20 degrees warmer in Llano County, 22 degrees warmer in San Saba County, and temperatures are in the upper 50s in Austin. 60 in Bastrop Bay County, upper 50s, low to mid 60s toward Mason, Llano, San Saba County, and Lampasas, where there's a little bit more clearing. Here's the big picture. Across the deep south, we're seeing some pretty strong showers. Lone Star State, we're clearing out. Still some light drizzle along the Houston metro area there. Your evening planner tonight will be cooling back down to the mid-50s. We'll see those clouds stick around at least for the beginning of the overnight hours. But I'm tracking near record high temperatures early this upcoming week before a cold front arrives, and that drops temps and maybe our first freeze. We'll show you a very busy next 7 days in Austin coming up in just a bit.
All right. Thank you, Tommy. A coalition of Syrian rebels have toppled the government of President Bashar al-Assad and captured the Syrian capital of Damascus. Al-Assad was Syrian's president for over 2 decades and has left the country for an undisclosed location. NBC's Raf Sanchez has the latest from Tel Aviv.
We are seeing history in the making in Syria, and at lightning speed. Rebel groups began their surprise attack less than 2 weeks ago, taking city after city. And today they have taken the capital, Damascus. They have toppled the Assad regime, and they are declaring Syria a free country. We are seeing scenes of celebration all across Syria from people who are hoping that this is not just the end of 13 years of bloody civil war, but also more than 50 years of dictatorship by the Assad family. The whereabouts of former President Bashar al-Assad are unknown at this time. Russia's foreign ministry says he has resigned, he has left Syria, but we don't know exactly where to. What is clear is that the rebels understood and were able to take advantage of the broader geopolitical picture. They saw that Russia, Assad's main backer, was distracted in Ukraine, that Iran and Hezbollah were weakened after more than a year of fighting against Israel, and they chose this moment to strike and redraw the map of the Middle East. Raf Sanchez, NBC News, Tel Aviv.
Meanwhile, President Joe Biden is lauding the fall of the Assad regime in Syria after rebel groups captured the capital of Damascus overnight. Now, speaking at the White House today, President Biden called it a moment of historic opportunity, but also one of, quote, risk and uncertainty.
This is the best opportunity in generations for Syrians to forge their own future, free of opposition. It's also an opportunity through far from certain, for a more secure and prosperous Middle East.
President Biden also expressed optimism for getting journalist Austin Tice out of Syria during his remarks. This is the family of the Houston native gathered in front of St. John's Church near the White House to pray and call for his safe return. President Biden saying that he is committed to returning Tice to his family. Tice was abducted in Syria 12 years ago while reporting on the nation's conflict. According to the leader of the Syrian opposition, a commission will be established to find Austin Tice, as well as others who have disappeared under the Assad regime. Tice's whereabouts remain unknown, but his family said last week that they had heard from a significant source that he was still alive. That's according to the Washington Post. Now to Capitol Hill, New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is looking to become the top Democrat on the House Oversight Committee. Representative Ocasio-Cortez officially launched her bid on Friday in a letter to Democratic colleagues. Ocasio-Cortez wrote that she understood the gravity of leading the panel and added that it must focus on both congressional oversight and improving life for everyday Americans. The move pits the millennial progressive against a more senior panel member, Representative Jerry Conley. It's currently the fourth most senior committee Democrat, and he's also running for the position. Democrats will vote for their committee leaders later this month. The U.S. government has ordered testing of the nation's milk supply for bird flu. According to an update from the Agriculture Department, raw or unpasteurized milk from dairy farms and processors nationwide must be tested on request starting December 16th. It's part of an effort to better monitor the spread of the virus in dairy cows. The type A H5N1 strain of the virus was detected for the first time in March in U.S. dairy cows. And since then, more than 700 herds have been confirmed to be infected in 15 states. Health officials say the risk to people from bird flu remains low. However, federal officials continue to warn against drinking raw milk, which contains a host of germs that make people sick. Now, more than 300,000 Ram heavy-duty pickup trucks are being recalled. The trucks in question are model years 2017 to 18 and include the Ram 2500, 3500, 4500, and 5500. Stellantis is issuing the recall due to a faulty part that could cause certain braking and tracking systems to fail. However, Stellantis said regular braking systems are not affected and that it's unaware of any related injuries. The automaker will advise customers who may be affected as to when they may obtain service, which the company said will be free of charge. In September, Stellantis recalled nearly 1.5 million Ram pickup trucks worldwide to fix a software problem that can disable the electronic stability control system. In spite of major releases this year, especially over the last month, the silver screen is not making the money it once did. The Associated Press reports that box office returns for 2024 are below what they were last year and far below pre-pandemic levels. Experts say it's partly due to the impact of last year's writers' strike. It's also because some movies weren't up to par for viewers.
It was also a year where, we always have flops. There are always, unexpected things. But a lot of films had a lot going for them and then just didn't pan out at the box office.
Now, that doesn't mean every movie did bad at the box office. Disney's Inside Out 2 made the list of one of the highest grossing films of all time, getting more than $1 billion at the box office.
KXAN.com/allergy has 24/7 updates for you. Both of our elements are trending up. Cedar is low because of the rain that we had yesterday. A temperature roller coaster the next 3 days, from near record highs to maybe our first freeze.
The doors to Notre Dame Cathedral have opened once again after more than 5 years of reconstruction. Yesterday, we showed you the celebration, but today, more cheers as the first Mass was held. NBC's Jay Gray has more from Paris.
Well, good evening from just outside of Notre Dame. A very special and for many very sacred weekend here as the iconic church reopens after more than 5 years of rebuilding following just a horrific fire here. The first Mass was this morning, a celebration really of faith, commitment, and rebirth of this structure. The service attended by French President Emmanuel Macron and around 2,500 invited guests. It was led by the Archbishop of Paris, with nearly 170 bishops, not all from France, but around the world, taking part in this celebration. It included the blessing of a new bronze altar inside the church. That a very important part of that service. The reopening actually started on Saturday. Dignitaries, heads of state from around the world gathering here, and the ancient bell finally sounding again, echoing through the streets of Paris. Music from the grand organ filling the restored cathedral, but perhaps the most moving sound was a standing ovation, people clapping, and it extended for several minutes, honoring the first responders, the construction teams, the artists, the architects, and craftsmen as they took their place inside this cathedral, the cathedral that they helped to bring back to life. That morning service followed by an evening mass here, the first time the public was back inside Notre Dame and celebrating, the faithful getting their chance to worship inside this cathedral. And there will be masses over the next several days for all of those who live here or have traveled here to get their chance to be back inside this iconic church. That's the latest from here in Paris. Jay Gray, NBC News.
Holiday celebrations aren't just for the kids. If you're looking for some more adult fun this season, the city of Buda has you covered. This Friday, December 13th, downtown Buda will transform into Whoville for their Grinchmas holiday sip and stroll. It goes from 5:30 to 9 p.m. Tickets are $35 a piece, getting you access to festive food and drinks, live music, and themed photo ops, all while you get to holiday shop. And you also get to take home a commemorative glass and Christmas tree ornament. Hopefully you get to run into maybe the Grinch there as well.
How about that? Nice and festive. There's always
course.
something to do in this city.
Yeah,
There's
speaking of the Grinch,
dozens of activities.
You've got the green screen. I mean,
okay.
I think you need to dress up as the Grinch. And
you're not the first person to recommend some sort of costume. I don't know. I don't know how people would like that at home. It's probably kind of disturbing if the Grinch gave the forecast, but it will feel like winter maybe. It's, you know, we've
That's
talked
what
about.
I was getting at, yeah.
How about on the cold days we dress up like Christmas?
That works.
Which is very rare in Austin, especially, you know, because we're going to be back in the 80s tomorrow. Let's talk about your forecast tonight. Here is right now our shot of the Austonian weather camera. There's some breaks in the clouds, and it is 59. Our winds are light and variable. Humidity at 90%. Starting to see some clearing toward Burnett, Lampasas, San Saba, Llano County. East of I-35, we're still rather overcast, but these clouds will continue to decrease overnight tonight. Out the door early tomorrow morning, 51 degrees in Austin, 50 in Georgetown, 50 in Cameron and Lockhart, down towards San Marcos, mid to upper 40s and low 50s toward the hill country. And here go the decrease in clouds overnight tonight. We'll start off sunny in Austin and we'll stay sunny throughout the entirety of your Monday. It is going to be a warm day, even hot for December standards. We should be in the mid 60s this time of year. 82 for a high in Austin and Bastrop, 81 in Lockhart, 82 in San Marcos, upper 70s toward Llano, Mason, in Gillespie County. Getting close to that record set back in 2019 of 83 degrees, so I'm going with 82. But for those of you who like the cooler weather, there is a cold front moving through tomorrow evening into the overnight hours. Between 7 and 9 p.m. for places like Lampasas and San Saba County. Travis County between 9 and 11 p.m. and early Tuesday morning south of San Marcos towards San Antonio. So Tuesday, much cooler, back into the upper 50s. Wednesday and also Thursday, mid 60s out and about. It's going to be dry for the next 4 days, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that's our next chance for rain. Not a big weather maker here, so overall low confidence between, let's say, 10 and 20%. Here's how one of those future models could pan out. This is Sunday into Sunday afternoon. Notice some cloud cover building, some moisture coming out of the south, and DFW towards San Angelo, Austin, the coast could be getting a fair share of showers. We need the rain. We're still in an extreme drought for portions of Travis and Hayes County. 51 tonight, decrease in clouds overnight. Overall on the mild side, our winds will be calm tomorrow. It's going to be a warm one. Sunshine, temperatures into the low 80s, near record high. We'll have winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's your first warning weather 7-day forecast. Big temperature change from Monday into Tuesday. Back into the 50s on Tuesday, 64 on Wednesday. Look at the overnight lows. We're going to kick off Wednesday near freezing in Austin, a guaranteed freeze for the hill country. So I would bring in your plants probably late Tuesday and keep them indoors until, let's say, early Friday, because out the door Thursday as well, 37 for that overnight low. And then 70s for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 10% chance of showers on Friday. 20% chance of rain on Saturday, back down to 10% on Sunday. So a bit of a cool down midweek and then warming back up to the weekend.
This is KXAN Sports, brought to you by Thomas J. Henry.
Hi, good evening. After that stinging overtime loss to Georgia last night in Atlanta in the SEC championship game, Longhorns were back together this morning to learn their playoff fate. The first ever 12-team tournament. The brackets revealed. Texas didn't wait long after the top 4 seeds. They will be at home against Clemson. Texas and Clemson will meet on December 21st at 3 o'clock at Royal Texas Memorial Stadium. There's the reaction. They only dropped to 3 in the rankings, but they obviously not one of the 4 teams that get the automatic bid because they didn't win a championship. That's why they sit there at number 5. And afterwards, Sark reacted.
I think our guys are really excited. We were all together here watching the selection show, and I think when our name first popped up with the 5 seed, everybody was excited about that. And then when it came back around and we were going to be playing Clemson, I think the guys were excited about that. They started screaming, it's the Makuba Bowl. Obviously, for Andrew Makuba, who's been at Clemson some time and transferred here. But again, that's one of the storylines. There's many in this game. This is one of the bonuses of playing in the first round, but yet having a home game. So we get another opportunity at DKR. School's just going to be wrapping up. Looking forward to a great environment.
Meantime, in Clemson, it's the Klubnik Bowl. That's Dabo Swinney, Cade Klubnik, Todd Dodge in 2021 when Dabo was recruiting the Westlake quarterback. Of course, now a 2-year starter. And last night, they had to win the ACC championship to take against SMU, to get into the playoff. And Klubnik had a big game in a wild game. This one went down to the wire and then some. Klubnik 3 touchdowns, but it was Nolan Hooser, 56-yarder to avoid overtime, and he hammers it home. And that's how Clemson earns a berth into the 12-team field. Again, they are coming to Austin. Let's take a look at what it looks like, the entire field. Again, 4 games that weekend. There's 1 game on the Friday night, Indiana, Notre Dame, 3 games on that Saturday. The winner of Texas Clemson, they're going back to Atlanta, and Arizona State, the Big 12 champs. That would be on New Year's Day at 1 o'clock Eastern time. So that's the playoff. There are still bowl games. Texas State's going bowling for the 2nd time ever, 2nd straight year. They'll take on North Texas. They'll have to wait a while. The First Responder Bowl in Dallas is on January 3rd. Texas men trying to make it 8 in a row, but they're having a rough time over at Moody Center. UConn's turned things back around from losing 3 in a row out in Hawaii. Texas down 57-42. They are early in the 2nd. Texas women lost to Notre Dame on Thursday, came home, and then went back on the road to take on James Madison. And I mean, the Longhorns were on fire. Madison Booker, the pull-up, they led it 11-0, and they just kept shooting the lights out. That's always been the issue, Texas. They play defense, the steal from Rory Harmon, the bucket from Booker, and they're up 21-8. It's a pretty good James Madison team. And then Longhorns got it going from deep. That's what they don't normally do. Harmon hits the 3. She was 8 of 11 from the field. Then Jordan Lee came in, and it was like an open gym shooting practice for her. Nobody guarding the freshman, so she just kept knocking down threes. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. 6 threes in 6 attempts. How about that effort? And then, well, Longhorns put this one away, but how about a little bit of defense to offense? Taylor Jones, the block, and then in transition, Rory Harmon had 19 points. Check out this circus shot. Longhorns win big over James Madison. They're back home this week.
All right, things are heating up, but they will soon get very cold.
Yeah, it's Texas standards. We get 4 seasons in the span of, 7 days or so. Here's your 7-day forecast for you. We'll see 80s tomorrow, near record high. That's 83 set back in 2019. I think we'll get pretty close to it. Cold front moves through back down to the 50s and then 70s by next weekend.
All right, good to see that cold weather after a little bit of hot weather and then back down, kind of a roller coaster. We'll see you coming up tonight at 9 on the CW or 10 on KXAN. Thanks for watching.